Hi, creative friends. This is Soraya, and thank you so much for being here. So I left this alone overnight, and as you can see, it's completely dry. And there's so much about this that I'm really loving. Now, what stands out to me right off the bat is that I think I need to add some like really dark, gorgeous, inky, Payne's gray, black goodness. And so I'm going to be using this chalk paint and ink. And as much as I love all of these nuanced kind of teabag colors, like they're just this really gorgeous, earthy, browns and cinnamon kind of colors. I love it. I really love it. But, in order for some of it to really pop and stand out, like say the face and the neck, I need to kind of, neutralize push a very dark value into the hair and maybe even a little bit onto the dress, even though I don't want to because I love what's going on. But I'm going to start with the hair. So another thing I realized, and this is why it's so important for me to leave things alone, whether it's overnight or for a few days or even a week or a month or whatever, is when I come back, I just have a fresh perspective. And one of the things I'm always reminded of is when I did part one of this spread, I was, when first I thought it was pink, I thought I was going to go for a very predominantly pink kind of palette. And so the first thing I learned is, hey, we can always change our minds at any stage of the painting, but especially in the beginning stages, I just kind of had this image in my mind. But the second thing I'm realizing is when I realized that, things were kind of going purpley, I I thought, oh, okay, well, if you can, I don't know if the camera can pick up on it, but see, over here is a magenta and over here is more of a purple color. And I do have problems or challenges or however you want to say it with purples. I don't know why. It's not that I don't love purple, I do, but I just find it challenging to figure out, what palette it's going to fit into with my color, with my visual language, with my colors that I like and love and gravitate towards. So what I learned, I'm sorry, I'm going in a roundabout way here, but what I learned is, just love what you love. Like, I'm not going to try to push myself to use a purple that I don't like, or I don't know how, or I don't gravitate towards, and the love what you love adage is, it's just like, I have it pinned up actually above my studio table, and I'm just constantly reminded of it. And it comes from Connie Solera, and it's so true. It's just love what you love. And I love this magenta color, not this purpley over here. Like I said, I don't know if the camera can pick up on that. But I am going to put another wash of the magenta and cover all of this purple here and maybe even some over here. Just because I like the magenta. I actually love the magenta. And, the whole thing is that if you lean into what you love, you are going to be authentic to yourself and you're going to be doing something that only you can do. And other people are going to be drawn to that. Not that that's why you're making the art, but just say you're painting and, you're selling your work or whatever. Other people are going to gravitate towards that because it's you, only you can do that. Like, you don't want to copy somebody else. You don't want to, let me move this big paper towel there. It's blocking the light from the window. You don't want to do what somebody else is doing, because that's not you. That's not your visual language. That's not what lights you up. That's not what makes you you. So, you know, that is just such sound advice. Now, I don't know about the facial features. I don't know if I want to, I don't know if I even want to make facial features, honestly. I am gonna put kind of some hair, because that's gonna, you know, I'm not gonna get too fussy here, honestly. And I want to use this pencil because, let's see here. I just kind of want that like raw, scratchy look. And let me grab my blue here. And I don't know, I'm not going to get too fussy with these pages because I'm exploring color more so, and I might come back later and, you know, do some other stuff, but honestly, I'm not going to get too fussy with everything here. And I know the mouth part looks like really messed up, and you know, it just is not looking all kind of tidy, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm just kind of exploring color here, and I might come back at some future point in time and like rework things. But for right now, I just want to kind of explore color and, you know, different palettes and stuff like that. So I know that face is not, you know, it's just kind of ugh, but whatever. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to drop some of this magenta in here, and I'm really loving all the neutrals because I feel like it's balancing out, you know, the magenta. It's really working well with it. Ooh, and I just love this magenta. It is so delicious, so truly beautiful. You know, but I understand that these colors may not be for everybody. And like I said, you know, that's why it's so important to, first of all, give yourself the freedom to discover what you do love and what you gravitate towards and build up your visual language, and then lean into it. Now, when I allow this to dry naturally, it's gonna be like so juicy and delicious. And when I work on my next spread in another video, I will come back and show this spread to just to kind of, you know, show you how it dries when I allow it to just kind of do it naturally. So unfortunately, the lips here are really bothering me. I thought I could just leave it alone, but now I'm getting all, it's just really bothering me. I need to kind of tighten it up a little bit. It's really funny, but every time I say I'm not going to fuss over when I say, oh, I'm not gonna fuss over the face, I end up fussing over the face. And this is puddling into the neck, which I'm just gonna let it do whatever it's gonna do. But what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna work on the face because this will turn into a big puddle of goo in a not a good way. So I am going to allow this to dry naturally, and what I'm going to do is just put something underneath it to flatten it out because it's not flat, it's going downhill. So anyways, if you have watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. And I will show this spread in my next video that I work with color. But for right now, I'm just going to let everything dry. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.